Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be figuring out how big the mega skeleton from GVK and GXK was. If you haven't watched those two movies, spoilers ahead. So I'll probably do a bit of skipping. So as we can see in GVK, or Godzilla x Kong, we can see this giant mega skeleton, which Goji Center estimated to, I think, be around 3 times as tall as Kong. And we saw another mega skeleton, even bigger, in GXK, or Godzilla x Kong, or Godzilla and Kong, or Godzilla x Kong the New Empire, as it's actually called. A lot of names for one movie. Or Godzilla x Kong Origins, or Godzilla vs. Kong 2, etc. So, I'm going to be estimating how big these guys are, not just in height, but in length. Goji Sentai has already done this once, and I know, but I actually did a few estimations on how tall the kaiju is. So, I have done estimations on how long the body of the Mega Kaiju in GXK, excluding the skull and the questionably ginormous tail, is. And I've done some estimations. It is 13 Kongs. Kong, in GVK and GXK, 337 feet tall. So now we have to times this by 13. I already know all of you are expecting this to be a big number. But how much is it? 4,381 feet. Pretty giant. Looking how we only got 2 legs, that when I looked closely at the corner, it was only like 2 legs we're able to stand on. I might be wrong. If I am wrong, please, someone who knows I'm wrong, correct me in the comments if I am wrong. Now let's just remove this, and let's see how tall the Kong from Godzilla Reverses Kong is by doing simple maths. Well, simple math is what I heard people say it has. But I just like the word simple maths for some reason. Okay, I actually don't. I literally just thought of it in my mind. So, I think he said the Kong in his video about it. I mean, the Godzilla specimen in his video about it would be, I think, 3 times as tall as Kong. If I'm wrong, again, correct me. So let's get 337, because that's how tall Kong is in feet. And let's times that by 3. This is simple maths. 1,011 feet tall. You guys would have probably estimated that, because it definitely isn't the hardest maths equation. It definitely isn't the easiest. That one would definitely be 1 plus 1. We all know what that is. We all know what that is. But this, I also find pretty easy. It's okay if you don't find it easy. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not a freaking vegan teacher. I don't hate you for everything about you. I don't care what kind of stuff you eat. I don't care if you like pizza. I don't care if you like barbecue chicken with bone in it. Because I like both of those things. Either way, if I like those things or not, I would not care if you like them. So don't worry about me judging you for not knowing this equation. Now, let's move on to how tall, we already estimate how tall it would be. How long it is. I already did this earlier before recording the video. And all I can say is, let's not add the inches part, cause let me just do some real quick. So, wait a second. So we know the length according to Goji Center's estimations, and they are very believable. The mega skeleton in GXK, that's what it's called in its short kind of name, is 17,426 feet. Wait, no, I need to go for a sec. Okay, just checked if the microphone was on. It was. So, what he said, it was the 17,524 feet. That is massive. Even for kaiju in the monsterverse, where some of them, if they're standing upright, are 531 feet tall standing upright. But some, if they're crawling, by the way, both I meant 375 feet. 7 feet in height when crawling. Those calculations are from Dangerville, so credit to him for that. I didn't estimate any of that, and he is a pretty cool dude. Now, let's just do some guesses, since we never really saw the tail. Okay, but we did in some sort of silhouette, but we don't really know if that is real, because the skeleton, compared to that, I don't really see it being the same size. So I'm going to divide this by 6. What do we get? Yeah, I did this calculation earlier. This is why I think we should remove the inches. Because, it is 2,920 point... I'm not even going to guess how many... I'm not even going to... I'm not saying how many 6s that is. Plus, since it is in inches, it is going to be a little bit different. A lot different. Because usually, if we were just using numbers in general, it would be like 0.1 units to make one. But when it comes to inches and feet and size, it would take 12 0.1 units, which are inches in this case, to make one, which is 1 foot, or 1 feet. Fun fact, that's just how as tall as the compy from Jurassic Park: The Lost World. I've known that for 5 years, by the way. Wow. So we're just going to estimate that the mega skeleton from GBK is 1,011 feet tall and 2,920 feet long. I don't even know if I said the height right, so I have to do that again. I am so sorry. So it's 1,011 feet in height and 2,920 feet in length. We're removing all of those 6s and that one individual 7, because since it is in inches, it would be different. Plus, we don't really see inches when it comes to kaiju sizes. When we look at the Monarch profile, then let's use some example of Monarch profiles. Amulux, it just says he's 379 feet, not 379.2 feet. Nikiku's, it says she's 898 feet long. not 898.9 feet long. If she was, she would be a tiny bit more than the ginormous octopus she already is. Fatima. It says she's 847 feet long. Not 847.4 or 3 feet long. So, those are my calculations finished. If you want me to do more calculations for some other creatures or like titans or sub-titans or super species, or even human characters, which at that point I'll just have to research how tall the actors are at this point. I'll just have to research how tall the actors are. Done. Finished. Or if you just want me to make more fun, if you want me to figure out more questions on the monsterverse, like how big can the skull crawlers get, since really we actually don't know how big the skull crawlers can get. Is Godzilla juvenile or is he fully grown at this point? Because when it comes to Godzilla's maturity, for some people, it is very confusing. Like myself at this point. Because at this point, I thought Phaetodons were basically just juvenile Godzillas. Now I'm hearing there's some evolutionary stuff with Godzilla, and his evolution could also be confusing, since if you think about it, is he technically turning into a different creature every single movie? Because he keeps on evolving. It's very confusing. Plus, we only scratched the surface of the Hollow Earth. Yeah, I'm not even joking when I say that. Only 5% of the Hollow Earth has actually been discovered. And we have 5 movies in this franchise, 2 series, and like 2 games with a crap ton of comics and novels, I think. So much so, I feel like Legendary's dream has become true. They've made a cinematic universe. And that's it for today. Bye. Let me just